That's State Highway 20. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground. So if you're in Hosford, we told you about 15 minutes ago you need to be getting in shelter. Now we have a tornado directly over the top of you. This is not an if, this is a confirmed tornado on the ground moving over State Highway 20. If this continues off to the north and east, let's zoom in on that road right there, if you will, Chris. And that's State Highway 65. We got Chester Street where the tornado is now. That's State Highway 20. This is going to continue to move off to the north and east, and it'll eventually move out of Liberty County up into Gaston County. But if you're in Lowry, I'd be seeking shelter. And any of these roads that are between State Highway 20 and back over to Lowry, you got to be in your shelter. This is now moving up. They've got this on rapid scan too, so we're getting every couple of minute updates on it. But that is a confirmed tornado on the ground. If you are in Hosford, you got to be in shelter now. The tornado is right over the top of you. You're probably hearing it. You're probably seeing it. You're probably definitely don't need me telling you that there's a tornado on the ground, because that is confirmed. That is definitely 100% a tornado on the ground. Thankfully, there's not a whole lot of at least city population based on our radar off to the north and east of Hosford, but man, oh man, that is not what you want to see. That is not what you want to see. That is debris being lofted as this storm is moving directly over Hosford. This is the rotation that we're picking up on radar. So that lowering section there is what we refer to as a wall cloud. Tornado can either happen right underneath that wall cloud, or it can happen just off to the south of that wall cloud, because this is a mesocyclone. So everything here is spinning, and what you're looking for is a right to left motion. So this was just over the bay, and I could see an extended lowering there. So we may have briefly had a water spout coming down, but this is where the rotation is. This is a wall cloud. It looks like a wall cloud. This is what we commonly refer to as a shelf cloud. It extends all the way back over here. You can get lowerings on any place throughout that wall cloud, or just on the occlusion, so on that occlusion base. So what we got going on here is the inflow jet is screaming in through that, and then that's dry air that's wrapping around. I would probably have some very, very intense hail probably on the backside of that. That greenish blue color is actually ice that is being reflected. The light is reflecting ice in the sky. That's why you get that greenish blue color. So anywhere in here we could see a lowering, and in fact it looks like we're trying to get a funnel to develop there, but certainly a very well-defined wall cloud working across. So this could produce a tornado at any moment in time. If you are in that area, if you want to go back over to the radar for me, if you are in any area around West Bay, on the north side of West Bay, or say Pretty Bayou, back up to Lynn Haven, any of these locations could produce. So that's right where we were looking. So that is where the wall cloud is right now. So that's Lynn Haven just off to the east there. This could produce you're on Campbell Road. You need to be getting in shelter now. You got a confirmed tornado just off to your west, moving rapidly in your direction. So if you're between I-10 and say Montgomery Road, between I-10 on Campbell Road, between those two locations, you need to be getting in your shelter. If you're in Douglas Crossroads, you got to be getting in your shelter as well. That's the lowest level of your home, most interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you're in Douglas Crossroads and you're in a mobile home, you need to get out now and get to a safe location. Go to a neighbor's, some sturdy building. Mobile homes disintegrate even in weak tornadoes. So if you're in a mobile home and you're in this Douglas Crossroads area, you've got to be getting in your shelter. McLeod Road as well as CB Whitehead Road, getting into your shelter now just to the south of I-10. That's the road we're looking at here. So this is Campbell Road that parallels I-10. To the south of that, right here where you see that couplet, thankfully weakening just a touch, but still a couplet right here, moving just almost due east at this point. So reflectivity, this black that's showing up, that's 60 to 70 dBz. All that means is that we're looking at rain droplet size. The bigger the dBz, so the bigger the frequency coming back to the radar, the larger the rain droplet. Well, obviously once you get over to 65 and 70, we're not measuring rain anymore, we're measuring hail, and that's certainly why you get this look. It's not extremely intense rainfall, it's hail that is being registered there on our radar. Not only do we have a pocket of it there, we also have a pocket of it there as well. But anywhere up on this rotating side, this is the parent thunderstorm. This is a supercell thunderstorm. You can see the hook echo here. So we've got nice draw toward the radar at that location. So that puts the tornado right there. And that's also where we're going to see this drop out. And that's telling us that there is still a confirmed tornado on the ground just off to the north and west of Caney Branch Road. This is headed toward County Road 177A. Again, Bill Packing Road if you're on that, or you know somebody that lives there, or you're on that road, you need to be telling them to get into their shelter right now, because this is a tornado on the ground, again, moving toward Beale Packing Road than what we had earlier on. So we certainly do have a wall cloud. There could be a tornado right there. Look at that occlusion. So this is the rotating updraft going all the way up through the storm. Where hail forms is up here. That's up into the 15 to 30,000 foot range, and that is where we have hail. So that hail actually falls on the backside of that updraft, and the tornado happens in this occlusion that's out in front. So right where you're seeing that, that's definitely at least a wall cloud. Again, the radar cannot see below the surface, so we can't actually see the tornado, but certainly where we do have that occlusion, that is likely where the tornado is either developing or possibly already on the ground. So again, that was around the Kynard area. This is moving off to the east, so this gives you a really good look at it, and you can even see other thunderstorms with hail cores showing up in them right there. So anywhere you're getting these purple spikes to show up in these thunderstorms, that's hail. It may not be making it all the way down to watching this. This is a slight delay. The actual radar is not live. This is on delay, so we're looking at a couple minutes in the past, and where we are is State Highway 377 in Franklin County, moving towards State Highway 30. So if you're in between those two locations, you need to be in your shelter now. We could have a tornado either on the ground or imminently developing right there. We're going to check out our correlation coefficient. This tells us whether there's debris being lofted up into the air. It certainly looks like there's a possibility of a tornado right there. That could be a tornado debris signature, but that's moving off to the south and east. Again, Alligator Point, even though this looks like it's going to go to your south, if you're out on Alligator Point on your own vacation, and even if you're in a stilted home, you're above, then interior room, that's where you want to get. That's typically a closet or bathroom. If you can be in a lower level, that's certainly better, but if you are on a raised home out there on Alligator Point, make sure that you are in the interior room. Typically, closet, stairwell, or bathroom. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Tornadoes pick up debris and they throw them through exterior walls, so you do not want to be on an exterior wall. You want to be in interior room or somewhere between the Bend and Tampa, possibly as far west as the Forgotten Coastline, say Franklin County. That's the most likely solution right now, but it's possible we could see it trend either way. It could trend west, it could trend east. It just depends on the timing of the trough and a couple of upper level pieces. So where are we right now as far as our level of concern? Well, basic prep should get started. That means get all the little things out of the way, grab the supplies that you feel like you need, make sure that you've got everything and you're ready to go in case further action is called upon. And just to ease your mind just a little bit, latest GFS run did just come in, and it had it moving onshore around Franklin County next Wednesday morning. But the rest of the ensemble shown here in the orange, you can see where the majority of those model guidance do put it is in between the Bend and Tampa. So that's still the favored solution right now, but things can change, and certainly the messaging and my tone has changed today. As I said, the last couple of days, today and tomorrow will be decision day. So in my mind right now, everyone should just be paying attention, check the forecast again late tonight, tomorrow morning, and so let's jump right into the timeline here. Futurecast as we go through the rest of tonight. Could see a stray shower, but by the time we hit 2 a.m., that's when the squall line is going to be approaching. Now, our Futurecast is doing a decent job on the timeline of the line, but a terrible job on the amount of moisture associated with the line. There's a lot more rain associated with this boundary as opposed to what our Futurecast is showing. So we'll probably see anywhere between 1 and 3 inches of rain as this line does move on through. But regardless, timeline remains the same. So from 2 to 6 a.m., that's going to be Santa Rosa, Escambia, Okaloosa, and Walton counties that will be under the severe threat. By the time we reach 5 a.m., we're going to start to push into Holmes County, Washington County, Bay County, Calhoun, Gulf, and Jackson. That's going to be from 5 to 9 a.m. And then from 8 a.m. to noon, that will be Liberty and Franklin County, including Wakulla, Leon, and Gadsden. That will continue to move off. And by the time we hit the noon hour, well, the severe threat will be over. Everything on the backside of this cold front will be elevated. It'll just be shower activity. Getting aircraft into a tropical system can be vital to getting data needed to accurately forecast a hurricane. That's why the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, uses multiple aircraft to measure and forecast these weather systems. Hurricane hunters like Nick Underwood fly on these aircrafts, collecting data through computer systems on board.
We fly directly into the eye of hurricanes, usually at about 10,000 feet above the surface of the ocean. The P-3 Orions are the ones who are flying directly through the storms into the eye. Our other aircraft is Gulfstream 4. That's our high altitude hurricane surveillance jet. So it's flying up at 45,000 feet in front of, around, and over top of the storm to collect those upper level winds that really end up steering where that storm is going to go.
These aircrafts are built for multiple flights, able to sustain extreme winds and intense turbulence.
Oh, there goes the signs. There goes the beds. So a combination of the two aircraft, we get the track of the storm and we also get the intensity and the structure and how it's developing. As we're collecting that data, we're sending that to our partners at the National Hurricane Center, and the better job we can do in the air of collecting that data, the more accurate those forecast models will be, and the earlier we can warn people that a storm is headed their way.
We know the data that is collected by hurricane hunters is valuable, but how do they actually collect that data? Well, that's the easy part. As planes fly through the hurricane, they drop dropsondes. This relays the information back to the plane and is carefully evaluated on the aircraft.
Think of these weather balloons in reverse, and so as we're flying through the storm, we'll be deploying these all throughout different parts of the storm to collect temperature, pressure, humidity, wind speed, and wind direction. Getting that data directly from the source is just vital to those forecast models.
With Hurricane Hunter data in models, the forecast improves some 10 to 20% versus when that data is not ingested. Not only are we far more confident in the track, but also in the expected impacts. In recent years, NOAA has performed research flights through storms you may be familiar with, like Ian, Fiona, and of course, Hurricane Michael. So the next time a storm starts to brew, know that hurricane hunters are on their way to give us an idea of how the storm is organizing and to improve our forecast models. So the forecast for you is the best it can be. Some cloud cover out there. We'll call it partly to mostly cloudy. I would call that mostly cloudy. You got a decent amount of sky covered and some sunshine seeking on through as well. But it is a dry day and we are not expecting any kind of rain. We've had the breeze out there off and on. It's been as high as about 15 miles per hour. At the current moment, north-northeast at 8 miles per hour. Slowly going to shift to out of the east tonight, but dew point dry down to 42. That's why it feels so much cooler. Because last night left the station at 66, dense fog. Dew point was also at 66. It feels cooler outside now than it did last night at that time where we had the fog. That all thanks to the moisture that was present in the atmosphere. 68 in Apalachicola, 65 in Bluntstown, as well as Mariana, 63 in Defuniak Springs. We're at 65. Same thing in Destin, also coming in at 65 with the dry air in place and no rain to speak of. This is what I'm talking about. If you look at the area from a different radar site, say from Tallahassee or from Dothan or from Mobile, you would see rain across our area. Just as we're looking from EVX Eglin back over to Mobile, it shows rain. If you look at Mobile's radar, there's no rain on the radar. That all has to do with Virga, because as you go away from the radar, you're going up in height. So what we're picking up is that elevation, and we're also seeing the moisture that is up high but not making it down to the surface, which is why you get this kind of look on the radar. And that's exactly what's going on. Just dry, too dry for any kind of moisture. This is a better example of that. Notice the moisture that's over the top of us not making it to the ground. Also note, yeah, that's freeze warnings in Tennessee as well as Virginia. So plenty of cool air around across the southeast. Thankfully for those warm weather fans, it's not going to last very long. High pressure slides off to the east after we go through tonight. And talk about severe weather setup. This is about as classic as it gets. Strong low pressure system, plenty of moisture transport off the Gulf of Mexico. A dry line established by drier air coming down the lee side of the Rockies. And then on top of all of that, a cold, dense air mass coming down from Canada and the Arctic. So that helps to amplify all of the processes in place. Thankfully for us, we're not going to get in on this as a cold front comes down. Note that we have basically universal flow here, so just some showers to worry about that'll be hit and miss throughout the day on Saturday. And then we'll see maybe a pop-up stray shower or thunderstorm for Sunday and again on Monday. But check it out. Check how warm it's going to be across the southeast as we go through next week. And if you didn't get a glimpse of it there, you'll get it on the forecast here. Our first 80-degree forecast for the coast next Tuesday, and we might follow it up with another 80-degree day. Also to note, I have reduced rain chances on Saturday, down to 40 to 50%. Just looks like dry air is going to really impact that front as it comes in, so I think it's just broken showers. But how about 88 and 87 for the forecast high inland areas next Tuesday and
I'm
Wednesday.
not ready for that.
I know. It's. I typed it in and I was like, man, that's warm. That's getting close to 90. Like,
That's like breaking a sweat.
yeah,
Deal.
yeah. No,
All right.
I'm not ready either.
Thanks, Ross.